I am going to budget my very last consistent income for like the next month and a half. If you haven't watched my other video update, I quit my job and now I am just temping. If you're new here and you don't know, I like to use you need a budget to budget my entire life, basically. All my money. I talk about it in every single video. I'm not going to go into too detail about it, but this thing has just really changed my life. That's all I'm going to say about it. So it is now 5:59, 6 a.m. I am up and early. I wake up early every day, but particularly today I am temping. And I got a notification that money dropped into my bank account, and I was like, sweet, it's a day earlier than I thought. And I realized it's a holiday this weekend, or tomorrow. So that's why I got paid early. Yay! They do have a mobile app, but it's a lot easier to just do it. They do have a mobile app, but it is way easier to just do it on your laptop. So my last paycheck also includes my vacation hours, anything that I needed to get paid out. And that wasn't very much just because I had taken a couple hours out to cover some of the days that I missed working going to PDC, the Pacific Dental Conference. Also, I didn't work a full amount that I normally do just because in a way to like try and get me to stay there longer, I was trying to cut back hours thinking that that was the solution. It was unfortunately not for me. So yeah, so I didn't work as much, didn't work as full time as I normally would. And then taxes, of course, bit me in the butt. My taxes were almost close to $600 or something like that, 700 bucks. So love that for me. I have $2,237.55 as my last paycheck, my last consistent paycheck for the next little bit. I have majority of all of my categories funded except for my rent. If you're new here, what I like to do with my paychecks is put everything that I need funded first from that, and then anything extra goes into the variable spending categories. So it's fixed versus spending. Fixed spending categories are the ones that I know are exactly the same every single month and they don't change. So that's like my emergency fund for me. Investing, I always put the exact same amount in investing. And then I know my internet is most likely going to be the same. My tenant insurance is the same. My rent is the same. My car payment, my car insurance is the same. So yeah, I basically like to do those first. So I have previously gone back and forth whether I wanted to try and get a month ahead. And I chose a couple of months ago to not do that, which, I mean, I didn't know I was going to quit and be in this position. If I had known that, I think my decision to be a month ahead would have been different. Basically, what that means in you need a version, you need a budget, is that you have your categories funded for a month ahead, so you're not always scrambling to fill in the categories, and it does take some time. If I wanted to, I could touch my emergency fund and allocate that money into the future months, like go over here, go into May, and then start taking money out of that to fund that, and then go back to beefing up my emergency fund. I don't know. I don't like seeing that number go down. It makes me nervous, even though I know in the future months I would have that money. So like, for example, kind of jumped a month ahead on a little bit is my like tenant insurance. So I have like 2 months worth in there. I don't know why, I just do. If I were to put in that I had used some up, I'd have some leftover money. Green means it's filled, yellow means that it needs to be filled up and that you're short. The only time it ever turns red is if you have overspent in that category. And so that usually happens when, let's say, I eat out, I sign it as eating out category. I never put money into the eating out category specifically. I put all my money into the groceries, and then when I eat out, I take from there so that I'm not overspending on groceries and spending out on eating out food. I find that that works for me just because it has minimized how much money I spend on food in a month altogether. Anyway, going back to April, I am just going to do this first because it's been giving me anxiety, is fill up on... I'm going to sign the last little bit that I have on my rent. So as I do that, it takes it out of my ready to assign. I love seeing this green. It's like, yay. And then I want to put another $100 into investing. So every paycheck that I get, I usually assign $100. Now that I am getting inconsistent income and they're not full paychecks, I'm thinking possibly every $50 because it ranges. So like one office, I just recently got paid almost $500 for that, for temping for a couple of hours. And so taking out $100, basically I've gotten paid more often so far this month. It's just not consistent. Anyway, I'm putting in $100 so that I can buy those stocks that are on sale. So go with my emergency fund now. It used to be at 5,000, but I'm trying to bump it up to 10,000. So I have been really trying to go at it. I've increased my monthly payments by $500 a month. I'm gonna just add another 500 right now, and then if I need to move stuff out of the way, I will. So I'm just gonna top up utilities again. It's getting warmer, so therefore my hydro bill will be a lot more once I start plugging in the AC. So I'm just gonna allocate $100 there in the future. I think this month already came out, so it'll be for next month. My rent is filled. My ADHD tax, those are for things that I forget to pay or forget to cancel, that kind of thing. Monthly bank fees are in there. I need to top up my medications, and then cell phone will top up as well. My car payment should have came out today. And then if I go into the month of May, it will show me that I have $232.36 filled up. So then I just need the other half by the 14th of the month, which should be doable. I'm just gonna fund this for next month as well. So 2 months worth. Subscriptions, I like to put in $50, but I have canceled 2 subscriptions. One of them charged me US, so it always varied month to month depending on the exchange rate. So I've canceled or put a temporary pause on that. Then I canceled my Amazon Prime. Don't need that. And then I basically only signed up for Uber One if there's a promotion going on. So I haven't really been paying monthly. It's like, they try and get you to come back for like $9.99 for 3 months. And then I was like, okay, sweet. Yeah, I'll do that. As many subscriptions as I can. I think Netflix might be next because I just don't watch it enough. This tab here was for me trying to pay my car insurance ahead of time, like for the full year instead of month to month, and then that way it would save me some money. But we'll see how much it is. I might dip into my emergency fund to cover the cost for that. My YNAB, that won't fund it just yet. What about this one? What do I do? I want to get back to $1,000. This is the one thing I just haven't really figured out with You Need a Budget is I want to top up to $1,000 again, but I already spent $525 of it on my dental hygiene license, and no, I didn't do insurance this time, but just the license part, so it takes it out of that. But that money was saved up from the year before, so it should not be like this red line here because I want it to start fresh, but whatever. This is definitely what I should fund. I need to move this up to 84.25. I want to make sure I have money for that. $100 to the wedding, $100 to my surgery fund. I'll do $50 to Christmas gifts. Got a ways to go with that. That's low priority. And then I am just gonna put the rest in miscellaneous. So I usually do the same thing that I kind of do with my groceries and my food. I put anything extra into miscellaneous, and then if I need to move it around, I can from there. So I'll be getting my hair done. I just know I'll get paid at least once before then, so I want to use that money towards then, but I'll pop it into self-care and I'll move it within that category. I do want to buy a few things from IKEA, but again, that's low priority. So I'll pop it into home decor if I end up buying it, or if I buy a book or activities. That is me budgeting my very last paycheck from my consistent job. It is nerve-wracking, but seeing all the green makes me feel a lot better when I move into May. There's greens here, so it's like funded. So if I were a month ahead, all of this would be funded. It would be green. I was saying I'm kind of in a situation where it's a good issue to have. I'm just kind of being pulled into different directions. I'm temping at these offices that if I didn't have this other job lined up for, I would totally work for. Super nice dentists. I align with their philosophy on dentistry, and not everywhere is perfect, but it's good enough in terms of like equipment, and I can do my job and whatnot. So yeah, I'm being asked to work a lot, and in the moment right now, because I don't have consistent income, I've worried that I will kind of just overdo it and say yes to everything. And then I'm back to working 5, 6 days a week, which I don't want to do. So I'm really, I haven't agreed to anything just yet. But the fear is also that if I don't say yes to at least a couple of shifts with them, that they'll ask someone else and want to continue temping, but temping for the same offices. So it's a little bit easier on me as opposed to just jumping in at new offices every single time, right? Anyway, that is me budgeting my very last consistent paycheck, or for a little while, I guess. But I'll leave that there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.